So many things I want to say, I just hope my head doesn't explode.
So do we, Henry Rollins. He's a former hardcore punk legend, Grammy Award-winning spoken word artist, TV host, author, actor and activist, alongside a whole other slew of things. And for most of his adult life, Henry has been endlessly touring the world, entertaining and educating people on issues such as human rights for troops and veterans of war. And most recently, a water campaign for villages in Africa called Drop in the Bucket.
For some people in parts of Africa, water is a 24-hour concern.
In Australia for the Long March tour, he's an amazing example of how to educate and entertain.
If I listen to
Welcome back, Henry Rollins.
One Direction. That is very impressive.
It's great to have you back.
Thank you.
We're just trying to figure it out today. You are on the road all the time. How many days a year are you on the road?
Up to 300.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're more on the road than home, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you have a home anymore?
Oh, yeah, I have a home.
Are you avoiding the police? What's going on?
No, I'm avoiding a midlife crisis. And hopefully by the time I'm 80, I'll be like, it'll die behind me. No, the older I get, the more I find the world interesting. And I come home, I got a nice place to live, holds one guy very well. and I come home to all my records and books, and it's cool for about 72 hours. And I get bored, and the rest of the world is kind of waiting for me out there.
Wow.
Well, I mean, you travel around, you a backpack and a camera, you've taken loads of photos, which you put in your new photo book, Occupants. Where's sort of your favourite place that you visited?
I love Southeast Asia. I have been all over the African continent, and that's very hard travel, but it's very, very rewarding. You meet amazing people. It says a day in Africa is like worth 5 anywhere else. It wears you out. But the world is an interesting place to me, so I'll take anywhere.
You went to North Korea. It's on my bucket list to go there, but they're pretty strict about who goes there.
Yes.
You're a dissident. You're an antagonist. How did you get in?
It took me 3 years to get the visa. I was told by the one travel agent that could get me in, they cannot know who you are. Do not be who you are.
You can't tell them your name. That's tough.
You can't you can't be on TV. You've never done a book. You've never been in a film. You're a businessman. That's it. And if someone recognizes you, play it off. And everywhere I go in the world, I always find Australians. You are the most intrepid, seriously, the most intrepid travelers anywhere. So I get to Pyongyang. I got my 2 spies with me. Other tourists are there in a bus, and we go to the same museums. We're all shuffled around the same part of town. And of course, hey, yo, Henry. I'm like, not now. And I don't like being rude. And so they're saying, like, what's your problem? I'm like, you don't talk to me now. Because the tour guide, my spies are looking at me like, why do you know him? And they're getting really frosty with me. So the last 3 days I was there, I have to avoid recognition. And finally, one Australian came up to me in a quieter style. I said, you got to tell your friends. I'll talk to you outside of this country. You got to leave me alone. And he kind of spread the word. Because I don't want to be rude to anyone, but I don't want to get thrown in prison. I had to sign a document that said, if you get thrown in prison, all bets are off.
We're talking about tough places. Afghanistan is in the news today. Obviously, Australian troops are now going to come out.
I'm glad for
President Obama needs to get the troops out as well. He's in an election year.
He won't take my call on that.
Should we have ever been there?
No. If you look at the history of Afghanistan from 330 BC to now, Alexander, the Mongols, the Brits, the Soviets, and now America, Australia, everyone leaves. You can leave in a box, you can leave on your feet, but you're going to go.
None of those Afghani people have got a better life now, not under the Taliban than previously under the Taliban.
They'll be made to leave too. The Mujahideen will kick them out. And when Western intervention comes into Afghanistan, it's all trouble. So America should leave. You all are leaving. That's great. Why President Obama has troops in there, as smart as he is, knowing the history probably better than I do, it's a mystery to me.
Now, you say Obama won't take your calls.
Yeah.
No, but do you want him to stay in power? I mean, the election's coming up. How are you looking?
I will be voting for him. But on Afghanistan, I don't agree with any president I've ever had 100% of the time. And on his Afghanistan policy, we go that way on that.
You might have a Mormon running the country after November.
That could very well be. I don't have a crystal ball. I find Mitt Romney fairly unelectable. In that I think a lot of Republicans are going, oh, no. And so maybe the Republicans have to sit this one out, and they'll come back very strong in 2016.
Well, we're going to come back very strong after the break with a bit more Henry Rollins. Don't go away. back to the project. Henry Rollins is still with us, but a quick bit of news.
Yeah, performance by murdered rapper Tupac has stolen the show at a US music festival, all thanks to a hologram. The lifelike projection, performed alongside Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, sparked a social media debate on the future of live shows. Now, some people loved it, some people hated it. What are your thoughts, Henry?
It looks like a gizmo to me. I do shows in manual mode.
Yeah.
Yes.
One man, one show a night.
You also do very long shows. I mean, obviously the crowd love it. But what's the longest you've ever performed one go?
I've been on stage over 3 hours a few times. One long...
Wow.
One long sentence?
Yep.
Wow.
One long run-on, unendurable sentence as the audience goes numb to comatose, taken away in stretchers.
Anyone in the back row nodding off, snoring?
Nodding off, texting, forming protests. Oh, yeah.
Get off.
Something else going on in the news we wouldn't mind getting your opinion on, Henry. If you've ever lost your phone and you're wondering where it might be, we might have the answer. Have a look at this. Right now, there are almost 30 million mobile phones in Australia. By my estimate, 29 million of which Shane Warner's texted. And according to a new global survey, we have trouble holding on to them. On average, Aussies lose a mobile phone once every 2 years. Last year alone, Sydney-siders lost almost $4 million worth. Respondents say they're most likely to lose them in coffee shops, at the mechanic or at church, which I think we can take as code for drunk in the back of a taxi. Especially given 2/3 of phones are lost between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. Internationally, in a 24-hour cycle, $7 million worth of phones are lost. People in Manchester are most likely to lose them, and 4 go over Niagara Falls each day. That's 1 every 6 hours, or half every 3 hours, which makes no sense at all. So you're travelling all the time. I presume you must have to carry a bunch of phones with you.
I have one.
You have one phone?
Yeah.
You ever lost it?
No. One of the reasons why I don't really need a cell phone is I have a road manager, and he is responsible for me. So.
Yeah. So if he lost his phone, you're in trouble.
Oh yeah. Then I'd have to be responsible, and that's all bets are off.
I just thought that was interesting, though, that we lose it at mechanics. How are we losing phones at mechanics?
You leave it in your car, and the mechanic pinches it.
Really?
That's kind of cynical.
Yeah, and Steve's going to have trouble getting his Porsche service from now on. I think that's safe to say.
Well, it's been great to have you here. Tickets are available for your show, I Will Learn to Speak, the Long March Tour. Head to our website. All the details are there. It's been an absolute pleasure. Henry Rollins.
Thank you very much.